Prime Minister describes Black River as ground zero. Black River is what you would describe as ground zero. That was the statement from Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness following a tour of hurricane battering St. Elizabeth. He explained that he arrived in the parish by air and observed almost all buildings without roofs. The Prime Minister said historic buildings including courthouses and churches are among infrastructure in Black River which are destroyed. He noted that residents are without electricity and cell service. Dr. Holness said while it will be challenging, Black River will be rebuilt stronger. Member of Parliament for Southwest St. Elizabeth Floyd Green said some 90% of the houses in Black River sustained damage during the passage of Hurricane Melissa. He described the effects as devastating. He assured that residents will get the necessary help. Meanwhile, the Black River Mayor Richard Solomon said the parish relief supplies were lost during the storm. He is appealing for assistance with relief items. Mayor Solomon added that St. Elizabeth Municipal Corporation vehicles are unable to navigate the floodwaters, and this is hampering teams from venturing out to assist residents. He noted that emergency response teams from the hospital and the police are also experiencing mobility challenges. The mayor said 3 backhoes are assisting with the cleaning up of activities affecting the roadways.
The electricity grid of Black River is totally wiped out. Telecommunications, we have seen 1 tower damaged. We are not certain if the other one is operable. So the entire infrastructure and everything needed for the convenience of modern living is destroyed here in Black River. The people are still coming to grips with the destruction, but from what I've seen and the interaction, the people here are strong, resilient, and positive in outlook. The government intends to complement that with bringing in the necessary emergency relief. The first line of effort in this regard is to clear the roadways to allow for vehicular traffic, not just to allow people to come in and visit relatives that they can't get in contact with, but to bring in much needed supplies to the supermarkets and other supply centers which are now empty. So once we get that accomplished, then we will start to see, on top of that, more assistance coming in, including assistance from ODPEM and other relief agencies who I'm certain are already mobilized, waiting to come. It is going to be a massive task to rebuild Black River, this historic town. But while it is destroyed, we can vision a future of it rising stronger and better. Because the truth is that many of the buildings were not properly located in the first place. They were in vulnerable areas. We will now take the opportunity to properly reorganize the town and to build back even stronger. So yes, we got a big blow. Black River is what you would describe as ground zero. It took the brunt of it, and the corridor through the south of St. Elizabeth, through Black River, going across the island, going into St. James, that corridor was totally damaged. But the recovery is not beyond us. It's not beyond the government. It's not beyond the people, and we will get it done. So keep the positive outlook, keep hope alive, and we will get through this, and we will rebuild better.
Clearly, we've suffered a devastating blow here in Southwest St. Elizabeth, especially with the town of Black River. I would say over 90% of the houses have suffered infrastructural damage. The entire town has been almost completely wiped out by Hurricane Melissa, especially a number of our historic buildings. Access into the capital is non-existent at the moment because of a number of down power lines and trees. This is also the case in a number of our communities in and around Black River, communities like Treasure Beach, Big Woods, Mountainside, Barbary Hall, all the way over to Five Spend, Middle Quarters, Landswood. There's a lack of connectivity, lack of electricity, and significant infrastructure damage. So thankfully the PM and the team are on the ground to coordinate the relief and recovery effort, and we know it will take some time. So I want to say to everybody, just rest assured that we will do our utmost to get to you as quickly as possible.
We were devastated, and one of the serious concerns that we are experiencing now, our relief supplies would have been totally wiped out. The container that we had stored with supplies to help out now would have been totally gone. Our building structure would have been hosting a lot of supplies, totally wiped out. So at this point in time, we're appealing for all some relief supplies to assist. We would have had up to 16 feet of water at our command center during the passage of Melissa. As a result, all our vehicles are immobile. So at this current time, it's unable for us to respond. JCF would have been facing the same challenges just as us at the command center. Even at the hospital, the ambulance system transportation is totally down. So at this point in time, we are in need of some mobility so that we can do proper assessment. The next phase that we are going to be moving into is to activate our humanitarian committee so that we can do a proper assessment. But as you can appreciate, it will be very difficult considering the roadways that are impassable at this time. But nonetheless, we would have activated our system where we had contractors on standby, and I'm happy to report that so far 3 backhoes and trucks would have been here trying to assist with the clearing of some of these roads. JPS with CEO Grant would have reached out to me earlier this morning. The team is responding well. They would have reached out to find out where are the critical areas. So they are out deployed. We are focusing on the critical services. Just letting everybody know, all the critical agencies in Black River, they are totally destroyed. So we pray for patience. We are all one, and at this point in time, we are going to do our best to respond positively.
Long road to recovery. Residents of Cornwall Street in Falmouth Trelawney look at the damage done to their homes and possession after the passage of Hurricane Melissa, which swept through the island on Tuesday. There was a pall of gloom hanging over Black River St. Elizabeth as 4 bodies, 3 men and a woman, were discovered after being washed by floodwaters generated by the fury of Category 5 Melissa. Many people were trapped in the community for hours as residents armed with machetes went out in the clear of roadways. By midday, people were able to move around, but not the reach of destination they would want to. Also, some roads remained blocked up to nightfall. Because there was no electricity and no telephone service, most people were worried about the well-being of their relatives who they could not reach. In the midst of the destruction, Norman Manley International Airport in Kingston reopened for relief flights, and Transport Minister Darrell Voss announced that commercial flights would resume at Norman Manley and Ian Fleming's Airport at 7 a.m. Prime Minister Dr. Holness visited Black River to assess the damage firsthand and described such as ground zero. Westmoreland was not spared the raging assault of Melissa, which left many areas of the parish in ruins. Dayton Campbell, the MP for Westmoreland Eastern, noted that wooden houses have been flattened and that roofs of others have been torn off by the massive weather system. The monster storm made landfall near New Hope in the constituency around noon on Tuesday, becoming the most powerful hurricane ever hit the island. Campbell said houses, schools, business, and churches were damaged by the hurricane. The majority of the roads are blocked and impassable from fallen trees. There are literally no connection. 1 or 2 persons using Starlink and a few members occasionally get a little spotting thing from flow. But there's nothing else, he added. It's just total devastation. It looks like something from the political type movie. It's terrible. Communication is almost non-existent from the majority of the community right now, and you can't get to them either, he noted. Local Government Minister Desmond McKenzie confirmed widespread flooding, landslides, and several infrastructural damage in Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, Manchester, and Clarendon. At a press briefing, McKenzie said some 25,000 Jamaicans had sought safety at emergency shelters across the country, and the number was expected to increase amid the devastation caused by Hurricane Melissa. He said the authorities were assessing how to deal with the members on a long-term basis, noting that no one should be turned away and that all shelters should remain open throughout this week. Mackenzie said assessment will be done to determine which shelters will stay open thereafter. With recovery efforts in high gear, U.S. President Donald Trump said the country is prepared to provide aid to Jamaica. Furthermore, with the majority of Jamaica Public Service customers in the dark, the Office of Utilities Regulation said it had approved an initial US $5 million for the Electricity Disaster Fund to help the company restore power to those affected. To subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.